Al from Baton Rouge. Good morning, Al. Thanks for dialing us up.
Hey, man, y'all can take this for what it's worth, but I've been listening to sports talk radio for 30 years in Baton Rouge. I give you both an A+ for effort. T-Ball made the comment it was bad radio. Well, it was, but only because of Dick Vitale wouldn't shut the hell up. No, I mean, seriously, y'all had great questions. You had them lined up. Every time you would confront him with a question, he'd get irritated and overtalk you. He would not shut up. But I think, and I'm letting you go after this, I think the most aggravating thing for listeners, it was an advertisement for himself.
Yeah.
All his awards, pushing his book, who he is. He's been in the business for 40 years. You know.
Well, and that was the real filibustery part, right? That's when you're just trying. That's when you're trying to fill time.
How many books did he try to sell?
Well, it's almost like he dared you all as a local talk show to confront him on anything.
Well, it's like it's like you don't want to cut off. You don't want to cut off the gas. You don't want to like mute his phone, right? You want to keep on. You want to keep it going. So it's and then also like no, you don't just want to yell back and forth. Try to kind of stay calm in the face of the yelling. But look, I have no problem with the book thing. Okay, the proceeds going to help kids with cancer. Like I have no issue with that whatsoever. But yeah, when he started going through the Hall of Fames, but done that kind of. I mean, to me, I felt like that was kind of him exposing himself a little bit. That he felt that like that has nothing to do with what we were talking about. Yeah, he felt the need to go out of his way to talk about his accomplishments.
Ray's on the North Shore this morning. Good morning, Ray.
Hey, guys. Great job under tough circumstances. That guy's got vocal cords that make Pavarotti. He is amazing. You know, the one thing, and I knew you all tried to corner him with this, I would say so. So in other words, because you don't have them on a wiretap, the Roy Williams, the Krajewskis, all those guys, they're not on a wiretap. Or you don't hear their voice. They don't have any idea what's going on in their program because they're all anal micromanagers and they know everything.
Exactly.
And you're not. And T-Bob, this is not like 85 football players. You got 15 guys on scholarship in basketball, but only 3 or 4 of them are the types that probably will offer some kind of money. So they don't know that these 3 or 4 guys. Just like in football, it's amazing how Tua's father's, whatever his occupation was in Hawaii, happened to have a location in Tuscaloosa.
In Birmingham.
They opened it there, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's and look, and I disagree though. I think this, and this is my last comment. I don't think you can start throwing money at these guys, and the reason being, the schools that have the most money are going to still attract the best players because they're going to give them more money.
Well, so Dick was saying,
thank you, Ray.
To be clear about Dick was saying, he's not saying for the schools to pay. He's saying the athlete should be able to benefit off their likeness, if that's through an agent, through whatever. And I agree with that. In Europe, these kids are professional from the time they're like 14 in these youth academies. They don't have any problems with any of this.
So if Javonte Smart's trying to get money for his image, what's the problem?
Yeah, exactly. And look, we're in agreement with Vitale on that. Like, I agree. And that would, it's like prohibition. When you take away something, you can create a black market. The NCAA has created a black market in all of this.
Cullen from Baton Rouge. Good morning, Cullen.
Morning, guys. How's it going?
All right, what you got?
I didn't get to listen to it. I heard kind of the aftermath of everything. I'm going to have to go listen to it on demand. But I do want to say this. I hope that nobody is going to be sending death threats to Dick Vitale again. That was a terrible story. The reason is, don't make him a martyr.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. When you
turn the narrative to himself and away from the situation, away from the hypocrisy that he's spitting. When you do that, because he's able to say, I'm being attacked by all these LSU guys. They're so in denial about this. No, you can tell him how you feel about it, how hypocritical he's being, but don't send him a death threat. Don't make him fear for his safety. Just tell it to him like it is, and the truth will set you free, kind of deal.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't want to get into a yelling match with Dick. That's why I was trying to approach him calmly to see if
we succeed.
He would respond in kind of. We got loud a couple times, but we definitely kept him more under control than he did. That's for sure.
Charlie from Lafayette. Good morning, Charlie.
Guys, y'all did a great job interviewing both of y'all with the adults in the room. in listening to that, and I was very impressed with both of y'all. The only question, a couple questions I would have loved to have asked about that is, one, the North Carolina grade scandal, the classes, the bogus classes. I wish you could have asked him that. And the other thing where Dick Vitale, where Rick Pitino, you know, his personal his affair he had where someone had a forced abortion, from what I understand. I mean, you know.
But look, we would, and things are cultural, but you want to stick to things that are relevant to the case. Now, there are tweets. Like here are a series of tweets from Dickie V on Rick Pitino. Today, Louisville board will terminate Rick Pitino. $44 million on the table. Gut says, as opposed to Alabama, USC, Miami, they rushed to judgment. He then went on to say, Louisville's board did not let the FBI report play out, setting the program back for years. He then went on to say, I simply said, why did Grissom and board rush to judgment? At schools where assistants were arrested, they did not fire the head coaches. Unbelievable. And then here are his quotes on LSU. And he said he didn't call for Will Wade's firing. I wanted to call him out on this, but there was so much he wanted to call him out on that I was trying to be a bit more directed. He tweeted, the simple fact of representing LSU with comments on the FBI tape are grounds to fire Will Wade. An embarrassment to LSU. Even if he claims and come out that no cash was actually laid out, morally, he has violated the code of contract between school and coach. So there's the deal, right? It's
Randy in New Orleans. Good morning, Randy.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up, Randy?
I loved when y'all had invited him on last week, and he's like, well, what time is that Eastern? Come on, dude. Like, you know? But anyway, you know, what's sad about it is you know, this, you know, with Will Wade and Javonte Smart and all that. But what's sad is what's going on with LSU. None of the other players have, you know, really have anything to do with this. And, you know, you look at ESPN and all they're showing is Duke and all this, and LSU's not getting any national recognition for what the other players are doing.
Yeah,
and
no.
What we're doing on the court, and they're never going to give us recognition for this year. And even if we beat Michigan,
just keep winning.
Even if we beat Duke, it
just keep winning.
Matter.
I love
just
it, dude.
keep
Nothing would
winning,
make
Randy.
Agree,
if they beat Duke,
just keep winning, bro.
Beat Duke and Michigan
Public
State.
enemy number one. Thanks for dialing us up this morning,
man.
Randy. And listen, and remember that Dick Vitale interview is online at 1045ESPN.com. Jump right back into the phone calls. 499-1045. Big O in Baton Rouge. Good morning, Big O.
Hey, I just called to tell y'all had a lot of patience, man. I was 62 years old. I think I whipped that old man's butt.
We got a spot for you on staff, Big O.
Only thing I want to say is this. Cam Newton, he got paid.
Yeah.
Nobody made a big stink about that.
Yeah. No, it
Well, I mean, look, the thing is you don't even have to go. That's where this all gets so frustrating. Thing for LSU fans is, Jordy, you don't have to go outside the realm of this investigation to find the hypocrisy. Like, you don't have to reach for Cam Newton. You don't even have to reach for the UNC academic scandal. Look at the same wiretaps, texts that Dickie V is referencing, and look at all the people that are implicated in that.
I love the Zion. Are you serious? Yeah, we're dead serious.
Yeah,
I mean, like, what's up?
Yeah.
Josh in Dallas. Good morning, Josh.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How are you?
So my great interview, by the way. First of all, but my question: he keeps referencing the tapes. Go listen to the tapes. Go listen to the tapes. Where are the tapes?
That's what we asked him.
Yeah, no,
we
nobody's
kept
heard
asking
the
him.
tapes.
Nobody's heard the tapes. Nobody's heard them.
Exactly. You know, he said we'll talk to Mark Sorbo. Well, y'all talk to him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we did.
The hypocrisy of everything he's saying is just mind-boggling. It really is. You know, you almost feel bad for the guy because he's got to have some kind of dementia or something going on because he's forgetting what he's saying.
Thank you, Josh, for checking in from the Metroplex. Let's go down to South Florida this morning. Thomas is in Atlantic Beach, Florida. Good morning, Thomas.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, thanks for calling.
Yeah, great interview. I was hoping that Dickie V would come on today and kind of help explain his position a little bit.
Yes.
Over the years, we all liked Dickie V, right?
Yeah.
And I think he dug a bigger hole. I think he damaged his brand today. The hypocrisy was on full display, and it was too bad because there's plenty of evidence against all these other schools, and he just refuses because they're all blue blood programs, and the establishment just can't stand what's going on with LSU and how Will Wade has brought this program back, and mind-boggling. He just the things he said today.
Well, one of my friends texted me. He
Thank
said,
you, Thomas.
"Man, I guess if Will Wade had just promised Dickie V he didn't do anything wrong, he would have been all good, right?" I mean, that was basically like his defense of a lot of these other coaches. They said they didn't do anything. It's and I agree again with Thomas that like this was a great chance for him to explain his reasoning, and his reasoning was simply that I guess he just finds the Wade transcript more damning than the other evidence, but when you look at the other evidence, it's right there with it.
Last call before we get out of here. Jim in Baton Rouge. Jim, thanks for dialing us up.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Great interview. I think one thing to mention, though, is that, Pete, Bob, you were talking about Schlabach saying that, essentially there's no smoking gun, yet at the same time saying, the transcript is damning, and it's the jury's still out. I know it doesn't look great, but you can look at it with, a couple of different lenses and go in different directions. So that's
no, for sure. But look, my deal is, I'm not an idiot. I'm not naive. Okay.
Thank you, man.
I get what the tapes are alleging. I get what it all probably almost for sure. Look. After reading all I have on this investigation, everybody's doing it. Okay, so I'm not saying that whatever. I've said this a million times. I'm not defending Wade. If anything, I'm upset with him because he got sloppy. But because I don't have a moral or ethical problem with it, I'm willing to go to the limits of plausible deniability. And so until you have that smoking gun, I will say that Wade should be back at coach. And what's going to be interesting, Jordy, when you look at what people were saying before the sentencing versus post-sentencing in this case, the judge basically thinks it's all really stupid. People are talking about 7 years, 5 years. The judge came back and gave him 6 months and 9 months
that they lowered down to 3.
Yeah, well, yes, and because he basically says, he's like, look, man, y'all are claiming that they are defrauding the schools when the schools are directly benefiting off this. They're claiming that these people that are bribing are defrauding the schools because they're exposing them to NCAA violations. The problem is the schools are benefiting, and a lot of people are doing it. And that's what the judge said when he handed down the light sentencing. So who knows where this April 22nd case is going to end up? Could be settled out of court. Could fall by. I'm very intrigued to see where it eventually goes, because the judge reaction, yes, the prosecution convinced the jury back in the day, but the judge reaction has been that it's a flimsy case from the prosecution to begin with.